Come on. Okay, everyone, welcome back to what is it, week 10 now? My goodness. What a what a fun semester. Um so this week we don't have a whole lot. I mean, I'm gonna go over a lot of class stuff. Most of it's gonna be information overload. I don't think any of you maybe one of you is in the applied meteorology option, but we'll get into that shortly. But first, let's see if I can pull up radar here. I don't know. I'm going to have to stop presenting and then present entire screen. Okay, so can you guys, yeah, you guys can see this. Okay, so right now, that's rain to our south. No new tornado warning down here. I was wondering when one was going to get issued. Okay, so let's go here and look at this. Oops, I want this turned off. So here is the hurricane itself, and you can watch it come on shore here. Most of the chasers, like we were watching, were right here. They're in this Waveland Bay, St. Louis area. What we can see is the winds are really starting to amp up right in that area. They're starting to get that storm surge. Winds right here about 100 miles an hour in here. It's about let's see. I can't tell. Probably about right here is 1,000 feet away. Not 1,000 feet, but 1,000 kilometers. No, 1 kilometer. I don't know. I can't get it to work, but yeah, it's not that far away from the radar actually. I can actually get you a real answer here. The beam height is probably about from where they are, it's about 1.5 thousand feet. So yeah, that'd be right. And then back into the core there, it's about 2,000 feet, which is pretty good. So these values are probably somewhat accurate into the 100 to 120 mile an hour range, and like I said, they're right in through here. So yeah, the 1,500 feet would be correct for the beam height. So that's what's going on down there. We can actually take a look up here and see what's going on here. Okay, so download some data. I will eventually present this software at some point. I don't know when, but I will. And so what we're looking for here, why this warning got issued, is these brighter colors and these darker colors are coming together, and this is what we call a couplet. And so when they come together like this, it just means the winds are. We can see on radar that they're actually turning, and so that's why this warning got issued. And we can just click on this warning, and this software is really good because I have different warnings set up for different things. So this is my tornado warning. It's typically red, as you know, but the MDs, the mesoscale discussions, are red on here. So I had to switch this to where I can tell if it's a tornado warning and whatnot. So if you click on this, it actually tells you what's going on. Says has a tornado, radar indicated rotation, which it's expected. And then if we wanted to see if it was radar confirmed, we can just click on this. It will eventually load at some point, maybe. Come on. Come on. Okay, so let's download all this data then. And what we're looking for here is right in through here. If we actually, let's do this. If we compare this velocity here, if we compare this with this, and if there's like a bluish greenish color in here, then we can pretty much say that what's happening is the correlation coefficient radar is picking up material that has been lofted into the air, and it's giving it a lower reflected value back to the radar. And so that's an indication that a tornado is on the ground causing damage, and it is detecting debris, that it's hit something. And so if they ever say, there's a CC drop on radar, or it's radar confirmed, it's because this correlation coefficient has actually confirmed that there is debris in the air, and the tornado has hit something to cause this. So that's what those mean there. I can go into way further detail about these, but we'll back off for today. Yeah, that's that. Nice little radar tool here. Like I said, eventually I will present about it. It's very, very useful. I used this a lot over the summer when I was out in Kansas, Texas, North Dakota, South Dakota. Wherever I was, I had this open and was looking at all the useful products. But the main useful one actually is this. This here it tells you where the surface or where the winds are with the radar. So lower you go, so the 1 kilometer wind looks like it's coming from it's backed a little bit from the southeast, and that's that twist that you want. Doesn't look like a whole lot of speed here going on, but you got a little bit of a twist here, so that's what we're looking for to produce a tornado. So let's see what else we want to talk about. First thing I really want to talk about, how much I hate Alaska. Like, can we just agree how bad Alaska is? Like, please? Okay, it's not like, okay, well, I don't hate it. It's just, it's, ah. What today is day 2? I just don't understand it. I don't.
Not with the first day. All the models predicted precip, and there was no precip.
I know. I don't get it. Even today, they predicted some, and it's still raining, but it's like, and I don't know what's going on there. There's something in the topography that is really. I'll show you what I mean here. I'm going to spell Juneau wrong. Oh, thank goodness. Okay. So there's something in this topography that is really screwed. Okay, so here's our photos here. This is exactly what I'm talking about. So if we go to satellite, you can kind of tell that there's some higher elevated areas here. But the weird thing is the National Weather Service Juneau office is located in Sitka here. It is actually located right here. So there's the office, but what do you guys see about this office? Something's missing. I'll give you a hint. There's no radar. Where is this radar at? So I'm thinking, okay, cool. I'm like, where's the radar at? So I had to go to radar scope. The radar is down here. So your radar site's right here. There's your radar. Way over here. And so the radar is not picking up anything close to Juneau. The last thing the radar picks up is right here. It won't make it up past these. I don't know how high these are. I don't know the elevation for this area, but the radar does not pick up over that. The radar, I don't know what's going on over there. I'm really confused. But I like I said, I don't like Alaska, so take that as you may. But yeah, this is, not good. So far they've done okay. I guess, it hasn't been terrible, but they should be getting more rain, I think. Question mark? I don't know. I'd look it up on the on that radar app I had, but I don't know their call sign because you can't go up there. But yeah, so then we can go back and look at the tropical storm here, or the hurricane. Let's see. We can go to satellite imagery and kind of look at it right now. Okay, where we're going to load. Come on. So what we're seeing this wrap back around. And so if this is wrapping back around like this, the one thing we can notice is it's going to weaken because there's nothing coming back around. If this thing wants to continue, and if you notice trends out in the ocean, you can see this. So whenever this eye wall here, which it's kind of deteriorating, which is pretty much gone. What you want to see is these brighter bands wrap back. That means it's intensifying. And since it's not wrapping back, it's obviously decaying, which makes sense because it's hitting land. So obviously it's going to decay and whatnot. But yeah, so that's one sign there that you can tell. Most of the people that we were watching from LSM, Live Storm Chasers, they were somewhere right into here. So they're getting this backside, the eastern eye wall, or whatever you want to call that right now. I don't really even know if it's an eye wall. I think it is still. I don't know too much about hurricanes. They're not my thing. Let's see. I don't know if I can do this on here. I know I can do it on Pivotal. And look at some upper level shear. I think eventually it's going to interfere with it, but tropical Gulf of Mexico. Upper, we'll go 300 millibar height. So yeah, obviously, like we kind of discussed, it's not really messing with it too much so far. Once it gets on land, I think it will, but there it is. So yeah, I mean, not too much. I mean, you got, well, I guess it is 50 knots, so there's a little bit. Even at 200 millibar, you still have we still have 48, 40. So that's a pretty decent amount. So it's gonna get taken down by that. And so yeah, and then it's gonna produce a lot of rain. If I go back out here to national, you can get out of this. There's a cutoff low down here that's causing all the crappy weather in Oklahoma that we could talk about. Let's see. Okay. Why is Pivotal being weird? Okay, so let's go to total accumulated QPF. And so basically there's going to be a cutoff line pretty much from I-72 in Illinois southeast. You'll see it when I get this thing going. Kind of. I think I can do this actually. So here's the rain coming. Like I said, pretty much I-72 east. This is in through the weekend. So we're around midnight Friday now. Around 7 a.m. Friday. So yeah, pretty much right through here. That's 3 inches, 4 inches in some spots. Right along I-72. We can actually get in closer here. So we really won't see a whole lot of rain. We might see a little bit, but it's nothing going to be like this. Even the GFS says we don't get any now. It's been shifting more southeast as the last few runs have been from last night into this morning. It's been pretty consistent moving it that way. So we should be out of that. But I'll throw up some pictures of this. Didn't have any of these ready, but there are some pretty gnarly pictures of Oklahoma from this past weekend. I don't know any good ones here. I mean, they're all good. I saw a whole bunch on Twitter of ice that was over an inch. That's a decent amount of ice to begin with. That's over a quarter accumulation. And then even this is downtown. Downtown got hit really, really hard with all the ice. Obviously, you guys know ice. As it gets on trees, weighs the trees down. Get any wind in there, it's going to snap the tree because the tree can't hold all the extra ice, and that snaps. And same with power lines, power poles. That's a big deal with ice storms. You really lose power. If you get any wind associated with them, you're going to have a big cleanup on your hands. And they're going to downtown OKC and all that OKC area, pretty much right through the middle of Oklahoma, got a lot of ice. I saw areas that said they got over an inch of ice, which is just nuts. The inch of ice that'll do a lot of damage to about anything you can have. It shuts down everything for about 2 or 3 days till it melts, so they can get things figured out. But my goodness, that's a lot. Oh, okay, so we'll move on from this. Don't forget shirts. I would like to have the money by Friday. I'll wait until I make the order till early next week. So by the end of the weekend, I need the money. You haven't paid. Most of you have paid, so you're okay. But if you haven't paid, by the end of the weekend would be great because I'll go in there. So they're not open on Friday. So I'll go in there probably Monday or Tuesday, and for sure we'll still be okay to get them by Thanksgiving. I'm pretty sure. So, so yeah, I'll do that. So make sure you guys have that money in. Pretty much talked about all of the other things I wanted to talk about. So now, what my main goal for today was to basically go over classes needed. Are any of you in the applied option that are on here? I don't know if any of you are on the applied option.
I am.
You are? Okay, cool. Okay, we'll go over that. I was going to go over it anyway, but I'll go over it in a little bit more detail then. Basically, what I want to talk about is what you need for graduation, and on the operational side, what you need to get into a job with NOAA. I know that sometimes it gets confusing. Sometimes you're led along the long path. So yeah, it can be very, 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 how do I put it? Heartbreaking when things don't go your way. There we go. I guess that's the best way to put it. So if you're in the applied option, you're gonna need Calc 1 right here. Obviously, Intro to Weather and Climate. That's a big one. And then you can either take Physics 124, which is General Physics, or Physics 211, which is Universal Physics 1. We've all taken Physics 211. I don't know what Physics 124 really entitles, but either one of those is fine. You need Introduction to Quantitative Geography. That's a class with Dr. Choi. Pretty sure we've all taken it in here, but if you haven't and you're watching this video online, that's a class you can take in the fall, pretty much any semester. It's always offered in the fall. 405, which I'm assuming all of you guys in here are going to take next semester. That's senior thesis. So basically in that class, you just pretty much take a project that you've worked on, or you propose a project and you write a paper on it. I think mine ended up being like, I don't know, 35 pages or something. It's really easy. This is in the spring, and it is with Dr. George, I think now. I think it's Dr. George. I'm not sure. Let me look.
It is with Dr. George this year.
It is? Okay, cool. I thought it was, but I wasn't 100% certain. So yeah, that's those two. The Meteorology 322 is Synoptic 1. 327 is Climatology, which is an important class. 329 is Synoptic 2. So you have to have all these classes, no matter if you're in the applied option or the operational option. You have to take these classes. These 5 right here, they are required to graduate. They're not too difficult by any standards. And then we'll start off with applied because obviously operational is going to get a little bit more tricky. Applied, you need Geography 430, which is offered next spring. That is natural hazards, fun class. You get all of the Earth. You get atmosphere. 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 You get the rocks. There's 3 parts to it. You get atmosphere. It's like atmosphere combined with geology, and then it's just straight geology. So it's a pretty fun class, really. You learn a whole lot in there. Meteorology 220, Severe and Unusual Weather. I'm not sure what the status of this class is since Dr. Bucher's gone, but I haven't taken this class yet, and I wanted to, but I don't know if it has to be offered again at some point, but I don't know when. It's typically offered every even year spring. So so this year was a 20, so it was offered this year, so it wouldn't be offered until the spring of 22 is how it used to be. But since Dr. Bucher is gone, I'm not 100% sure when that class will be taught again, but it has to be taught because of this requirement here. 337 is climate change. I'm in that class right now, and Brandon's in there too. I really enjoy it, honestly. It's kind of like, opens your eyes up to some things, and you learn a whole bunch of different things that entitles with the atmosphere and how this affects a whole bunch of other things, like all the oscillations affect hurricanes, and stuff like that. So it's an interesting class. Meteorology 425 is radar and satellite. This will be offered again soon. I'm not sure on the details of it, but it will be offered again. I have confirmation on that one. And then you also have to either take geography 497 or 499. But these classes, I believe, you can choose your semester hours. So you don't have to take all 3 from one. You can do like 2 from one and 1 from another. 497 is internship in applied geography. I don't really know what that means. I'm assuming you would have an internship with somebody somewhere. Basically just gain experience from that. And 499 is special problems in geography, which is a research class. So I'm assuming you would just go and research a whole bunch of things that would do with some sort of geography mechanism. I'm not exactly sure. But you need to have 3 semester hours. And like I said, you can vary with your thing on that. So geography 497 could be 1 hour and 499 could be 2 hours. Or you can just do all 3 hours from one. It doesn't really matter, I don't think. As far as this wording, you can just do 3 from either or 1, or it's pretty much up to you on that one. The next one is where it gets kind of tricky. 17 semester hours from the following courses. Some of these abbreviations I don't know. I don't know what AGEC is. This is broadcasting and journalism series here. Chemistry in this one. Computer science in these 2. Emergency management here. And then I don't know what Fin 311 is. Finance. There you go. Good call. Okay. Yes. Thank you. Finance 311, and you got geography 251, which is urban and rural planning, I think. Something along that line. And geology 115, 380. 115 is oceanography. I don't know what 380 is exactly. GIS 202 is pretty much an introduction to GIS. It's the principles of GIS class. And 405 is another data class for GIS. So those 2 are fun classes. HE, I don't know what that is. I should, but I don't. Maybe a health class of some sort, maybe. I'm not sure. And then math, Calc 2, Calc 3, differential equations here. And then meteorology, that's instruments is 300. 333 is a data class. I don't think it's going to come back. I would almost bet it's not coming back. It has to do with you learn more Linux and coding. It's a coding class, basically, is what 333 is. I don't think it's coming back. I don't know. I think that's why there's more emphasis in coding and synoptic and dynamic now, is because this class is no longer there. 422, dynamic meteorology 1, 429, dynamic meteorology 2, and 432 is physical meteorology. There's going to be a switch next year. Instrument is going to be offered in the fall, so 300, meteorology 300 is going to be in the fall, and 432 is now going to become a spring class instead of a fall class. So if you haven't taken it yet, look forward to that next spring. It won't be in the fall, it'll be in the spring. And then Physics 212, which is Universal Physics 2, and 354 is maybe the thermodynamics class. I'm not sure what 354 is, but it's another higher up. It could be like a radiative transfer class. It could be some optics class. I'm not sure exactly what 354 is, but it's high up physics. And then I think it's a political science, 300, 302, 393. I don't know what those classes entitle there. But if I were anyone that's watching this video or in here, if you go in the applied route, chances are you're going to do something with broadcasting and journalism. So I would probably choose all these. But if you want to go the applied route and you don't want broadcasting and journalism, you need 17 semester hours, I would definitely do the GIS classes. This is just me speaking. You don't have to follow this. The GIS classes, instruments for sure, because that is a fun class, 100% fun. If you've taken Synoptic 1 or Synoptic 1 and 2, you can do Synoptic or Dynamic 1. So I would recommend 422. It's pretty much just a extension of Synoptic plus a little bit more things. Nothing too major, but it's still a fun class. 432 is Physical Meteorology. It's fun. We do a lot of, it's basically chemistry of the atmosphere, what happens in the atmosphere and what causes it. And I would choose this one, 300, 432, 422, and these two GIS classes. I will say Oceanography, Geology 115. I'm in that right now. Very easy class. It's actually a lot of knowledge that's useful. We go over everything from what's in the atmosphere, gases, water cycle, tides, waves, anything. It's like there's physics involved in it, biology. There's I can't think of all of them right now, but it is a really fun class, and it's not that hard of a class at all. I promise. I really do. It's not bad. And then if you wanted to, 114 computer science, that is also a good option to have a little bit of. I think there's some coding in here. It's not a bad idea to get some experience with that. You could take chemistry if you wanted. Chemistry would help you if you're going to take physical meteorology, but chemistry really isn't a huge part. So yeah, those are that's my advice. And then as far as you've got an open elective, which is 2 semester hours, which you can choose whatever you really wanted for that one. As far as a minor goes, like I said, if you're going to choose this route, 9 times out of the 10, the people that are going to choose it's broadcasting and journalism minor. You can choose that. GIS minor, which if you had a GIS minor, you can't take these because this counts for the minor. So that won't count. You'll have to take some other classes. Emergency management. So you can take these classes here, but they won't count if you minor in that. 251, 252, I think, is actually like paramedic classes, I think. I could be wrong on that, but I think they are. I'm not sure, but I know 276 is pretty much the introduction class for emergency management. And you can also minor in computer science. Those are pretty much the top 4 that this major option would have. So those are that's my advice to anyone out there that's in this, what they want to do with it. So yeah, that's applied meteorology. So that's the new option that just came online this fall. And so now we're going to go into the operational meteorology. So the operational meteorology is for students that are interested in the National Weather Service. That could be, like I said, that could be National Weather Service, could be the Storm Prediction Center, the Weather Prediction Center, the Climate Prediction Center. Anything that is related to NOAA will have to have something under the operational meteorology. So to begin with, you need Calc 1, which is Math 133 up here, Calc 2, Math 134, and then Introduction to Weather and Climate, 120, and this is Universal Physics 1, just to begin with. That's just right out of the get-go. And then your core courses, which is the same as the applied, you still need that quantitative geography class, Geography 301. Senior thesis, you'll take this class. I didn't mention this in the other one because I forgot. You take this class the spring semester before you graduate. So if you're going to graduate in May, you take it that spring semester. If you're going to graduate in December, you still take it the spring semester before you graduate. So for me, I graduate this December, but I took it last spring. So that's when you do it. It's the semester before basically your last time here. And then once again, Meteorology 322, Synoptic Meteorology 1, and then Climatology 327 and 329 and Synoptic Meteorology 2. So here's where the two really start to differ. You have to take these classes here. Math 231 is Calculus 3, and then Math 333 is Ordinary Differential Equations. Don't let those two things scare you. I promise. I was terrified, and now I'm just happy that I'm done with them. But they're difficult, but as long as you keep pushing through it, it will be okay. I promise. And then Meteorology 422 is Dynamic Meteorology 1, 429 Dynamic Meteorology 2, and 432 is Physical Meteorology with Physics 212 being Universal Physics 2. And then if you're not familiar, these dynamic and synoptics, they alternate between spring and fall. So basically, in order to take Dynamic 1, you have to take it in the fall. And then in the spring, you'll continue over to Dynamic 2. Same way with Synoptic. You'll take Synoptic 1 in the fall, and then you'll take Synoptic 2 in the spring. Same way with Physics. Physics 211 is offered in the fall, and Physics 212 is offered in the spring. You don't have to take them back-to-back semesters, but it's highly, highly, highly recommended that you do, especially with physics. Meteorology, it's not so much that case, but with physics, you really want to, because you really want to retain that information and carry it over. So the next one on this directed electives, this is the one that throws people for a loop. If you're not careful and not paying attention, most people will not meet this requirement for the National Weather Service, and I will pull up the page that shows what they require after I get done talking here. GIS 403 is remote sensing, and I will show you why there were speculations that this class will not come back since Dr. Liang left, but I will show you why it has to come back. So it will be back eventually. Typically, it's in the spring of even number years, so it was this past spring, so it wouldn't be back until spring 22 at the earliest. So that's remote sensing, which is very, very useful. Meteorology 300 is weather instruments. Very, very, very fun class. And if any of you are going to take that next fall, me and Jared started the project in there with the weather instrument. I would really like it if someone could just take that over and run with it. I'll just kind of give a background on it. That was a weather instrument with a lot of coding, a lot of fun experience. And that is why there is a board on site on our Stevenson shelters, because we actually set it up, collected data, analyzed the data. It was fun. But yeah, it's still there, and we gave notes to what we'd like to see improved on. Very fun class. It's very, very useful. Had a lot of fun in there. Highly recommend to anybody out there. Take Meteorology 300. Just so much fun. And then Meteorology 425 has not been offered in a very long time, and it's the radar and satellite class. It will be offered again soon. No details on when, but it will be within the next year. There will be a class. There will be an announcement that it will be offered at some point. It will come back. And then select two of the following courses, 6 to 8 semester hours. This is also where people get kind of tripped up. And so basically, I'm going to show you why right now. So for the National Weather Service, this is what they require. It is actually called the GS 1340 Meteorology Series. And so this right here will tell you everything that the Weather Service requires for them to even look at your resume. They'll look at your transcript, and if you don't meet it, you'll immediately get thrown into the trash. So this is exactly what we try to get our students to go to. We always recommend go the operational route. It's worth it in the end. And if you're afraid of math, it's okay. You know, I was terrified of math. I got through it. It's not too bad. But what you need is 6 semester hours of atmospheric dynamics and thermodynamics. So our Dynamic 1 and Dynamic 2 covers this. That gives you that. 6 semester hours of analysis and prediction of weather systems. Synoptics, that's mesoscale. So both semesters of synoptics, so Synoptic 1 and 2, meets this criteria, Part B. Part C is that physical meteorology class, Meteorology 432. So if you take that, that covers Part C. And D is 2 semester hours of remote sensing of the atmosphere and/or instrumentation. So you can either take remote sensing and not take instruments and be okay, or you could take instruments and not take remote sensing and be okay, or you can take them both. I've taken instruments and not taken remote sensing. I would love to get back in there and take remote sensing because I think that would be fun. Hope when it comes back I will, but you do not have to take both of these in Part D, just one or the other. And then if we go on to Part 2, 6 semester hours of physics with at least one course that includes laboratory sessions. So Universal Physics 1 and 2, 211 and 212 count for this. And those classes require you to sign up for the lab. So you will have laboratory sessions for both of them. They're not bad. The labs are actually kind of fun. And then the number 3 semester hours of ordinary differential equations. So you have to take differential equations. And that is what's neat about this operational option. Because beforehand, last year on the degree, you were not required to take differential equations if you did not want to. You had to take Calc 3 and then stop. But with the operational option, you have to take ordinary differential equations. And that is another reason why I think this is good, because it really makes you do it. And it gets you ready for the National Weather Service, like this year is being ready. And number 4 is the most important out of all of these. A lot of people will get tripped up in this if they're not careful. You need statistics, which is 301 for us. Geography 301 does count. I asked Dr. Finch. She said it is good. Physical oceanography, which is the oceanography class. Geology 115 counts in this. Physical climatology, which is that climatology class, which is 327, I believe, is climatology. So that counts in this. And so basically, as long as you take climatology, as long as you take Geography 301 and either geology, 115, which is oceanography, or a computer science class. So a CS 114 would count, or you can take chemistry if you wanted to. If you really like chemistry, go ahead. And I'm pretty certain one of the physics classes, that 384 would count for one of these. I'm not sure which one. I think advanced electricity and magnetism would be physics 3 maybe, or physics 4 for maybe one of these two. I think that's one of those, but don't quote me on that one. But as long as you have that stats class, oceanography, and climatology, you will be okay. Those count. So those will get you through. And that's pretty much the series there. If you want to look this up, like I said, it's GS 1340 meteorology. I can't even speak today. GS 1340 meteorology series. It'll pop up right away. And it'll get you to where you need to see your classes and whatnot. And then you have 2 hours of open electives, 2 to 4, whatever you want again, and then any minor. Now, this is where it gets tricky with the minors for the operational. I've been watching and seeing what the Weather Service is actually like looking for now. For a minor, they really want you to either have GIS or emergency management if you want to go into the Weather Service. Those two things there are what most of their applicants that they've hired have. But my advice to you, just do a triple minor. I wish I did a double and not a triple. But you can do a triple minor because all you would need is for math, you need one more extra course, which right now I'm in mathematical modeling, not a bad course. You can do mathematical modeling, logic, and linear algebra. Those 3 classes there will fulfill your math minor. And then another minor they have that they like is GIS, which if we go down here, we actually see here. So there's that 202 and 405 that we mentioned up there. You have to take those 2 classes, and then a GIS, chances are you want to take 408 because that's environmental GIS. So you'd want those. And then after that, my route, I did 309. And I think my community college, whenever I transferred in, counted for 2 of these. So I did not do any others on this list besides 408. 408 might have actually counted. I don't know if it did or not. But I know somewhere in my community college days, I took GIS classes and they transferred in. But you would just have to choose 3 of these classes. That's 402 is cartography, 403 is remote sensing. Not sure what 404 is. 407 is population, GIS with population stuff. 408 is with environmental. And I'm not sure what 410 is, but most people are going to go the 309 route. And I would go the 309 route because that's pretty much the bridge from the 200 to the 400. That's where you're going to pretty much get thrown into a lot of the upper level stuff, and it's really helpful class that you get yourself accustomed to some of the things that your professor would like when you take the 400 level class, 500 level classes. In that 309 class, he won't grade you as harsh, and you'll know what you want, or you know what he'll want, and that will help you out in the end. The other one is computer science, and doesn't hurt to learn programming. Programming is really nice. Linux, you got Python, you've got C++, you've got a whole bunch of other things that would relate to that, and having that computer science background would be nice. But yeah, those are the classes there. Let me see. I don't really have anything else besides that. Basically, the only other thing I'm going to say is if you're younger and you're watching this, try to visit Dr. Finch at least once a semester, once a year to see where you're at, because we've had issues in the past where students think they're ready to graduate, and then the office of the registrar will send them a notice saying, hey, you're missing 1 or 2 classes. You need to, take a class, and you have to stay another whole semester just because of 1 or 2 classes, and that is not what anyone wants to do. So if you meet with Dr. Finch, I'll be around for another 2 or 3 years. You can ask me, and I'll help you out as best as I can, because I've been in these shoes before, to where what do I need to graduate? What do I need for a job? And it's not easy. It's kind of stressful thinking about it. But eventually, once you get the idea of what you want, it gets a lot easier, especially towards the end. I mean, you really don't have much else to take, so you can pretty much just take whatever's there. But these 2 options are great. Applied meteorology, I don't think I actually mentioned this. Applied meteorology is for basically anyone that wants a professional related job, whether it could be working for a private company, whether it could be, out doing agriculture related things. But the main thing the applied meteorology is for broadcasting students. They're the ones that they don't really need the math as much, but most news companies, most of them are going to want someone with a meteorology degree. So that is a good way for us to actually present ourselves with, we have a meteorology degree, so we can apply most beforehand. If you didn't have a meteorology degree and you just had a math or a weather minor, you actually were told to go away because they wanted someone with a degree. So that's what that one. Like I said, with operational meteorology, that's what NOAA is. And so if you wanted to apply for that, you can. As long as you follow these steps and anything else that the university has as far as their any of their first semester stuff, I don't really know any of that because I transferred in. So I don't know much about what they require as far as, like English and stuff like that. But as long as you complete that stuff and then complete these, you should be good to go for both of them. It's pretty straightforward and stuff like that. Do any of you have any questions at all? Say about anything. Could be graduation, could be jobs, could be anything at all. I don't care. I'll answer anything. Because there's a lot of I don't know how to put it.
So to be clear, it's confirmed that instruments are being offered next fall, and then physical is being offered the following spring.
Yes, that is my understanding.
Okay.
That is what Dr. Finch told me. I know that because it has to be offered next fall because obviously you're going to graduate, so something's got to be there for you to take. And I know she said that to me Monday. Was it Monday? Yeah, it was after our test Monday. Yeah, she said that. So yeah, it's because Dr. Choi will teach physical meteorology, and she will teach instruments. It's a switch off. What's going to happen there? Yeah, so that's that's the way it's got to be because she can't teach that many classes in one in one thing, and so hopefully next semester she will everything will get kind of back to normal. One more thing I wanted to show you this but I kind of forgot. Why I said that remote sensing can't go away is because you actually have to take the class right here. It is required in the geospatial science that you take remote sensing. So there's no way for it to go away. And Dr. Finch, I know I talked to her about it, and she didn't think it was going to be offered because Dr. Liang taught it. But upon looking at this, unless they make changes to this, they have to offer it somehow, some way. But I don't know if Dr. Sutton or Dr. Choi, or not Dr. Choi, Dr. Dang would teach it. But it does have to be offered if you go that route. I mean, I can't wait for it to be offered. I want to take it really bad, but
Me too.
yeah, it will be offered again. So yeah, well, while you guys are here, I will show you this. I have an account. I would recommend all of you guys to create an account, USA Jobs. So right now we can actually, and this is how you actually search for National Weather Service jobs. You can type in GS-1340, and it'll show up all of these here. And so what these numbers mean, so map, I don't really know what map means, but don't worry about map because that's not what you want. You want these DR/CR. DR stands for direct entry. Those are the ones you want. CR, I'm not sure what that means, but you want the DR one. So if we click on this one, you can see the locations here. So let's see. This looks like a these are all 14s. 14s. Okay, so we'll just go with this down here. A supervisory meteorologist, which is pretty high up. I think you're the lead of the office at this point once you get to 14. I think map means you can just transfer within the program, but I'm not for sure. I don't know exactly what map means, and I think I looked it up once, but I forgot. But yeah, so with this, you're the head of the office by far. You're in charge of everybody. I think that's what that means. And this is a position in California. You can see that by this. Kind of shows you. And then for this lead meteorologist, this is you're the guy in the office. You're in charge of all the other forecasters. And so when it says multiple locations, you can actually see. Obviously, they're in Alaska because great. But there's one location everywhere, really. One location everywhere, and I don't know why. That's kind of interesting. I'm not sure why there's a location. That is literally every office. I don't know if they're trying to give one to every office, but maybe one more forecaster per office. I don't know. But that is literally every office. I'm not sure why. And obviously the salary for these guys are good. But to get to 13, you've got to keep progressing up through the ladder, through the ladder, through the ladder, through the ladder. And I wish there were still job offers out here from the ones that we can actually apply to once we graduate. The next time those come up, I will bring that up. But yeah, I would recommend that all of you guys create one of these. Create a USA Jobs account, and what you can have happen is, let's see if I can sign in. Should be able to. Oh no, I don't want to do this because it takes too long. So what happens is when you create an account, you can actually set it up to email you. See how it says save this search? We'll email you when new jobs as they become available. If you type in this thing here, and instead of putting 11, 12, 13, you put in, I think it's like 6, 7, 8, or 5, 6, 7, something like that. That's like the entry level jobs for kids that just get out of school. And so every time a job opens up, it will send you an email and say, hey, we have these positions open. And so you can actually be like, oh, okay, cool. Let me go look at it. And so you can actually look at the job, apply for the job. As far as the application process, I'm not 100% sure how that goes. Haven't done it yet. But from talking to people that have, I don't think it's too hard. You just got to get all your documents in is the main thing. It's not too hard to do. You do it all on this website. You apply on this website. You look for the job and apply on this website, and then if they like you, they'll give you we'll send you an email saying we're interested, and then if you get another email saying we want to meet, that means you made it to the next round and you have your interview. And from your interview, it's within like you and I don't know the exact number, 5 or 10 people maybe. But you got to, and then if you make it through the interview, I think that's the last steps, the interview. But I don't really know. I think the interview is like if you impress them, then you get the job, I think. And then that's another whole topic that we can go over. Well, I guess we could go over now. Let's see here. I'll go back to 1340. Whenever you're doing this, or whenever you're applying, my advice to you, don't apply big. You only get 3 or 4 options to choose, like where you, maybe it's 5. It's either 3 or 5 where you actually want to go. And if I'm on here looking at these, I'm not applying at let's see one here. I'm not applying at Goodland. Not doing that because that is a major hot spot. I'm not applying at Key West. I'm not applying at Miami. Not applying at Florida. If I was on here, I would apply for Massachusetts, Maine. I mean, apply somewhere where there won't be as much competition. Is my advice. If you're gonna do this, don't apply somewhere where like Lubbock or Amarillo, where it's tornado central. Last year, Amarillo, for that one position, had 121 applicants alone. They're only going to get one guy out of all those applicants. Don't waste your position on somewhere like that. Go somewhere where it's not that popular, and who knows, you might like it. Go to a South Dakota, go to a Utah, go to Wyoming, go somewhere really random, Vermont, Virginia, like there you go, Salt Lake. Go apply somewhere to where it's not like, you're going to be competing with the whole world. I mean, you can still apply to those places. I mean, who knows? It could work out for you. But in the end, it's probably not going to work out for you. And so that's where you really got to think to yourself, and then do I want this? And then, you can even apply to the Alaska positions. Who knows? Alaska, or look at this one. You really want to, you can apply to Guam. I mean, if you want to get in, apply somewhere where no one's going to apply, and then hopefully at some point you can transfer out and go somewhere else. Which, I mean, that you can after a while, but that's the main thing is you just got to get your foot in the door. And even when in the spring, whenever they have those internships come up, just apply to whatever. Then they might be far away, but you can still apply to them. You get them good. You don't, that's okay. But yeah, I mean, even if so let's click on this. You don't care, that's okay. Then qualifications, obviously, here's this degree thing again with everything that we just went over. You need that, and then this is going to have a whole bunch more qualifications because you need to be at what is this? At the GS12 level. This is 13, so it goes like let me see what levels. I don't know if it'll show me all of the levels. There's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There's a 5. A 5 is like an intern, I think. Maybe it's this here. Maybe not. No, I don't think so. But yeah, so it goes up by levels. So as long as you perform well, you can get promoted, and that's how you get paid more, and that's how you keep going up and up and up and up and up. But yeah, so that's that. Kind of talked for an hour. How am I? Do any of you have any other questions? Yeah, I mean, I've rambled on for a long time. Oh boy. But yeah, I've got sheets out, and I might send them out eventually about each of them, each class. I just kind of made them today, so we'll see. I might send them out. But yeah, so that's the classes you need if you wanted to do operational applied. Kind of give you some background stuff on where to look for the jobs, how to apply. And yeah, so if you have any questions, just reach out to me. I'll be able to help you. So with that, I think that's where we'll end our meeting this week. And next week, I don't know what we'll do. We'll do trivia or present on either maybe the hurricane or something. Who knows? I'm not sure. But if you guys don't have any other questions, that's all I've got for you. So we will see you all next week.